Hello. There's some pretty wet and windy conditions out there at the moment. At this time tomorrow, the winds are going to be a notch higher across northern Britain. We have an amber warning in place. Of course, that is when Storm Amy is set to arrive. Now, before that, as I say, we've got some pretty wet and windy conditions out there at the moment. Some heavy rain across Scotland and Northern Ireland and swinging across England and Wales. It's been a very wet week across western Scotland, so more rain falling here could cause some further disruption. A spell of rain crossing England and Wales fairly smartly, keeping the temperatures up here actually a bit warmer than recent nights. The winds also strengthening currently, but not as strong as they will be, as I said, this time tomorrow. In fact, if anything, we have a bit of a respite for most of us Friday morning. Could be a wet start still across the southeast. A lot of spray and surface water on the roads here, but that should scoot away, as should the rain from the Northern Isles of Scotland, but only to allow the next zone of rain to come in from Storm Amy. Now, this is going to get heavier and heavier through the day across Northern Ireland and into western Scotland, northwest England through the afternoon. So again, because it's been pretty wet recently, that could cause some disruption. Some flooding is possible and certainly travel issues, and again, a lot of spray and surface water on the roads. The rain will spread also across much of England and Wales, so overall a pretty grey day. Yes, we may have some dry weather for a time in the morning, but most areas turning wet and increasingly windy through Friday afternoon. Temperature-wise, well, mid to even high teens, but obviously it's not going to feel all that pleasant as the rain sets in and those winds whip up. And they really will be whipping up through the afternoon and evening across this northwestern corner of the UK. That's the swirl. That is Storm Amy. And from 5 o'clock, we have an amber warning in place across the northwest of Scotland, a broader yellow warning for the winds covering much of northern Britain through Friday night and indeed into much of Saturday. You can see that swirl. That's the centre of Storm Amy. Let's track it back, though, because things are really developing at the moment. This storm system being pushed along gently by the jet stream. But as we go through the next few hours, really, through the night, that storm system tracks across the jet stream. And that's where it really starts to pop, really starts to intensify. The isobars almost jumping out of it. And by the time we get to Friday evening, look at the number of isobars. Look at how tightly packed they are. Now, it's got to develop. It's got to intensify. It's got that interaction with the jet stream. So there's still a bit of uncertainty about the exact track, and that will have implications for the exact strength of the wind. But we're particularly concerned, as you can imagine, with those isobars really squeezing together, about a very strong spell of winds across the northwest during Friday evening and into Saturday morning. That's when we've got this amber warning in place, but a broad yellow wind warning covering a good part of Wales, northern England, Northern Ireland, and all of Scotland also. In that yellow wind warning area, gusts of 50, 60, exposed areas maybe 70 miles an hour. In that amber warning area, exposed areas could see gusts in excess of 90 miles an hour. Now, we know that this part of the world sees strong winds pretty frequently, but these winds are quite unusual and they're bound to cause some problems. Travel disruption as a very minimum. Power cuts are likely as well. Heavy rain also likely to cause some flooding issues too. So if you do have plans for travel through Friday evening and Saturday, just bear in mind these weather warnings. You can check out them for yourself in more detail on the Met Office app and website. That amber warning is in place until 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. It does calm down a little during Saturday, but that yellow wind warning in place for most of Saturday for further gusts even into the afternoon. The storm system starts to pull away, still some heavy rain across the Northern Isles, plenty of showers packing in behind it, and overall a chillier, fresher feel as the winds swing in from the northwest. So temperatures could still, with a bit of brightness, get into the mid-teens. But obviously, temperature's not really the main story. It's all about the wet and the windy weather to come. As I mentioned, there are a number of weather warnings in place, but not across the south. So here, yes, you'll get a wet and windy spell, but conditions across the south not at this stage expected to be too disruptive. But do keep up to date with the forecast. Best way to do that, as I said, the warnings are on our app and on our website. But the easiest thing to do, get all the updates on our YouTube channel by hitting subscribe.